Hi there, Dean Slater here. I'm the Director of ERP Consulting, primarily in the Acumatica space. Been in ERP 28 plus years and seen a lot of retail commerce, a lot of sell-through channels, and things come up.
And I'm RJ Stevens, CEO of Friends of Commerce, longtime B2B commerce consultant, and working with mid-sized companies, typically, mid-market companies in the B2B space, wholesalers, manufacturers, distributors, and helping them solve challenges that they're running into in sort of their struggle of modernizing their technology, improving their customer experience, and ultimately growing their business. Today, the reason why my good friend Dean and I are going to have a conversation today is to start to talk about things that we're seeing out there in with clients and in the market and challenges that people are running into, and talk about why the outcomes and the maybe the negative consequences of those the way they are right now, why that is, and maybe what can be done to fix that, particularly talking about commerce and sort of ERP and data, and how does e-com and ERP, how do those two things, why is that so important to get that sort of balance right and using the right systems and approaching that sort of topic with really informed perspective. One of the things that I'm seeing, when we run into clients is a lot of stuff is around data, and probably the data, one of the pieces of data that's really critical to make sure is sync between e-com and ERP is inventory.
Yeah, for sure. We're even seeing that in an ERP standalone system, if you will, before someone even leans up into a retail approach or an e-commerce web presence. By all means, there has to be a system of truth. And what is that system of truth? Typically the back end. Where am I purchasing? Where am I dropping my inventory? When I have inventory in, how am I allocating that out? When we introduce somebody like yourself, helping a client build out a fresh, modern take on a web presence, then we have to make sure that we're running in real time and that we're running real data. Of course, making sure that a system or an ERP is system of truth. It's where I'm receiving it, it's where I'm warehousing it. So how do we accommodate that in these systems with our clients?
Yeah, and it leads to, real world challenges, and looking at this from sort of the business, or even better from sort of the customer perspective of this, not having accurate inventory information available in sort of your purchasing channel, whether that is through web or through sales or customer support or whatever it is, like, when you've done all the work to get a customer to engage, and then they go through a process where they believe they're buying something because it looks, or they don't know that it's available or not available. It's such a missed opportunity right there that has tons of repercussions. What are you seeing that the challenges are with that?
Yeah, absolutely. The customer experience, customer acquisition today is costly. There's lots of opportunities now in this new modern era to buy from nearly everywhere, unless your widgets that you're selling are highly unique. So we don't want to lose our customer acquisition. Once we have them, we want to gain them, but improper communication with them, it not only stresses the website or stresses the ERP footprint, but then there's a stress factor even on the organization itself. There's entire teams of people in marketing, in customer success, and in the warehouse, if you will, and they're having to deal with irate clients or upset clients, or they're getting 3 times the email workload saying, where is my product? On the website, the experience is typically done. If we're in an integrated, system of truth, an ERP to a website. So now we're just filtering down that client challenge. And it can be very challenging. What is the truth? How many widgets do I actually have on hand that I can actually ship today? Many legacy systems cannot handle that type of data. And that type of data synchronization, that communication could salvage all of this control over extensive emails and demand from the customer.
Yeah, and I think salvage is such a good term you put there, because not only, to your point, I think all the effort it takes behind the scenes to, where is something, communicate back, send an email, the time it takes, but then the customer, I think at that point, the customer starts to just lose confidence in the company's ability to provide accurate information. So they're thinking like, okay, if I thought there was inventory and I thought I could buy it and get it, but I can't, what else is here in this information that isn't accurate? And when you lose trust with a customer, I mean, they are going to go somewhere else. At a bare minimum, they're going to diminish their engagement with you and probably buy less. They could just go away entirely. And then not only did you lose that initial sale, you lost all of the subsequent sales that would come from them. But it has, significant downstream negative implications if it's not addressed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you say, it becomes into that old adage, when they tell two friends and so on and so on. Some of these things can get out of control like wildfire. But there's another side of that as well. If working in a warehouse to fulfill these orders, package them up, ship these orders that are coming through an e-commerce channel, it becomes frustrating, then I'm going to turn over my warehouse staff. As an organization, as a CEO over an organization, I do not want to have to retrain or turn over my account management or customer success staff, nor my warehouse staff. From a back-end system of truth, balancing that as well. Post-pandemic, many organizations that we're seeing, they're having a hard time getting back up to full staff. They're going to run a little lean and mean. Why do we want to rock that boat? So again, one simple concept of product availability and proper, communication. I might be okay buying a product if I know it's going to ship in 10 days to just know I'm going to get that product and you communicated with me.
Yeah.
If I order online and I'm going to buy a product and it says in picking status or in shipping status for 9 days, I'm really going to wonder about that company